Hello and welcome back. Today it's DIY and I'm going to be making a stand for a pot plant. If you're new to my channel, I'm Deirdre and this is a project that has needed to be done for a while, mainly because I wanted to see if I could do it, and that's sort of a big part of it, and also because I've currently got a couple of my palms sitting on little tables that I'd rather use as sort of like mini coffee tables that I can just move around wherever people need them. But first, I'd like to say thanks very much for the wonderful response to my Q&A. I was quite nervous about doing it because I really just couldn't see how it could be interesting. I'm sorry, I know, it's just like that, isn't it? Anyway, I'm so pleased that I did it. I'm so pleased that you enjoyed it. And yes, I will do them in the future and I'll take questions and I'll put them down in a book and keep them for the future. And yes, as Yvonne said, I will do a what's in my bag, I promise. But to all of you, thank you very much. Right, let's do this project. Over here, I have my, hang on, I'll move you so you can see. Yep, there we go, pot. And it's actually quite big. Look, see, it's sort of giant really. It's really quite a good size. And I'm going to start by making a base with these pieces of moulding. It will sit, two parts will sit like this across each other. So the first thing I'm going to do is to mark the width across this pot and cut this length of timber into two. So that's the base. And then I have these two pieces of dowel. The first step is to cut these two in half and cut this into two pieces that will make the base like that. So step number one is to mark across this. And that's going to be the width of the base. See my line marked on here? So I'm using my builder's square, which gives me a nice precise line of where I need it to be. Now I also need to mark another line. This line is where I need to put the builder's square, so when I run my circular saw, it will cut at this width because that's the line between the base of the circular saw plate and where its blade comes. So that's going to be where the blade hits, and this is where the edge of the saw is. Now I'll clamp the builder's square on so it won't move. So here's my circular saw and the battery, which I am now putting in. So up to this point, no harm. Block your ears. Now it's just a matter of running the circular saw across at this point. It is exactly right. Let's do it. Now I've got to measure out the same length and do it again. Now it's slightly more awkward cutting a dowel, but the principle remains the same. Mark really well where I want to cut. Come back, 1.2. Okay, so I now have 4 dowels that are the legs, and these are the 2 cross braces. Now these have to drop into each other like that. So halfway along I've got to make a notch in each so that they can slot down inside each other, exactly halfway in each, so that that will make a level. I'm going to use a handsaw and just chisel out the remainder. Just whistle through it. Now I'm going to cut the other side and then I'm going to curve out the middle so I can easily remove it with a chisel. And there is the finished base. Now what I have to do at this point is to drill into here and each side and into the leg dowels so I can insert small dowels to hold it steady, well with glue obviously. And these are a thing called a fluted dowel, so you could see there are little ridges on it, and that allows the glue to get right down inside So I need to drill holes into this, obviously with the same size drill, and halfway, so that each dowel is then halfway into A, the stand, and B, the dowels. On this side I've drilled out the holes for the dowels. It looks a bit messier than it is because I actually glued it. So I realised I didn't have any way of transferring the correct distance of these dowels, the holes that I drilled, to the larger dowel that I'm using as a leg. And then I went, oh, that's probably when I should use these. And these are little, I don't know if I can show you, they're like a little heavy little metal spike. You put them in exactly as if they were dowels, and then you transfer them to the correct height on the piece of wood that you're using. And that, hang on, I'll smooth this back. So you use that, then you place it down into the dowel that I'm using as leg, give it a little bit of a tap here. These little spikes then transfer tiny little holes into the dowel that become the markers for where to drill for the matching set. So I'm now drilling the second to last of these matching dowel holes, and then I can put it together. It's important when you're drilling just to keep pulling up a little bit so that you don't end up with too much rubbish, too much of the waste in the hole. Now, did you see that there's a little collar on the drill bit, and it's just, you take it on and off with an Allen key. It's just another variation on using a flag make of masking tape, or in my case I usually put washi tape on it. Don't know why, just because I have it sitting there. This one actually stops you from going any further. But yes, I hurt myself, can't you believe it, putting on the safety cover on my handsaw. With all four of my legs with the holes drilled, and they're all numbered, remember, because they all have a matching set of dowels on the cross piece, that is the base of it. Right, that's one. So what I've done is I've used the pot that is going to sit in it the other way round to hold them out while I brace it, because I've got all of the pegs in, but it's because it's a bit wobbly at the moment. And there it is, finished. I mean, I like the concept. I like the idea of having sort of quite an open stand for it. I think it's too high. I think it's higher than that table, it's higher than this one, it's higher than the buffet. So I think it could come down a bit. It looks okay. What I will do, I think, is paint it. But I think the balance is okay. I think if I reduced it by, not a lot, just enough to bring it more into the same sort of height as the other things in the room. I mean, it's even taller than the tall table in the corner. As a prototype, I'm happy with it. Palm seems perfectly happy sitting up there. So I think I'll paint it, maybe black. There you go, one plant stand. Cost, about max, I think it was about $25. I can live with that. I had fun making it, which is the point, isn't it? And that's my plant stand. I've just finished editing the first half of it because I'd finished it this morning, and I'm really happy with it. It's not the best explanation of how to do it, so you'll have to forgive me for that. I've tried to as I sort of went along, but I think I'm going to need a lot of practice on that one, so forgive me. It's the first time I think I've tried to take you through a proper build, so and it's a tiny build, but it's sort of annoyingly sort of faffing around a bit, so I forget to explain things while I'm trying to solve a problem. So that's what happened when there's sort of jumps. But I'm happy. I will paint it and see how high I want it to be. I'm going to cut it down a bit. I'll show you when I've done that. In the meantime, I'm about to start packing up for my holiday, which is coming up very quickly, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm starting to get quite excited now. The next couple of videos I think will have to be about getting packed and getting myself properly organised. If you would like to follow along while I pack myself up, and I'll get tips for packing and the sorts of things that you take, some good lists about things like that. I'll also talk about travelling alone and oh, I've got quite a few other things to talk about that relate to the trip and to travelling. So that will start from the rest of this week. If you'd like to join me doing that, then please subscribe, and if you enjoyed having a bit of DIY, give me a thumbs up. Please share this with friends and family. They may like a bit of DIY as well. I hope that whatever you're doing, you're having a lovely week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.